My name is Kristen, and I grew up in Penargil, Pennsylvania. And when I moved to New York in '96, Mary Jo and I did a children's book, and it was a great first client to have, and it was a lot of fun to kickstart my illustration career.
I'm Matthew, and I was born in the town just next to Kristen, Penargil, and I'm not from a large family. I'm the only child. Well, we first met about 13 years ago, I think. And then after that, I went to Switzerland and studied for my PhD in Switzerland in philosophy, media studies, media theory, and wrote a book. Then I started teaching here in the US. I started teaching. Yeah, and then at one point I remember Kristen's brother and I were hanging out. He said to me, "So what's your deal?" He said, "You're not dating or anything like this. Aren't you looking for a relationship or whatever?" I said, "Well, to be honest with you, there's only one person that I think I would even consider having a relationship with." And he said, "Who's that?" I said, "Well, it's your sister." And I said, "What's going on? Why is she still single?" I figured you'd be married. And that was a bit of a shock. So I remember walking into the Deer Head, and there Kristen was at the bar. And I looked, I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's just as stunning as she was 13 years ago, even more stunning." And I was a little nervous. And I was so nervous that I didn't go up to her. I pretended I didn't see her, right?
Meeting Matthew, I think I knew how good men could be. Meeting Matthew through my big brother, Eric, he was pre-approved. And so it was nice starting a relationship with someone that the family knew, the families knew each other. So
I asked Eric, your brother, if I could ask you to dinner, and his words were, "Nothing would make me happier than to see my two favorite people in the world together." And that was pretty cool. And it is really a wonderful feeling knowing not only that the person that you're potentially becoming involved with, that you know their family, you know history, and you already know that you enjoy the family, But not only that, but we know where we come from. We know the spirit of the place where we come from, and there's something that's, I think, very kind of secure about this. Mm-hmm. And we find ourselves very much on the same page.
We knew.
Yeah, we knew.
After a couple dates. Yeah. I knew that you were very special.
I am very spontaneous. I don't like I get nervous when things are planned out. I like to just allow the flow to take place. And so it was New Year's Eve, the morning of New Year's Eve, and we had gone to Montauk for a few days. And I just said, "Oh, this is it. I'm gonna ask Kristen to marry me." And so I drove around like 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And there was nothing open on New Year's Eve day in Montauk. So I finally got into East Hampton, and I saw the Tiffany's shop, and I'm thinking, well, why not? I'll just give this a shot. I humbly took a deep breath and walked in and said, "Listen, I'd really like to ask my girlfriend to marry me today. It's her birthday. I don't really have a lot to work with here." And she looked at me and she said, "Let's see what we can do." And it worked out. And so I got the ring, I selected the ring, and it was an exhilarating feeling. And I drove back up to Montauk, and I asked Kristen to come out to the
parking lot.
Well, there's an area that overlooks the bay.
So beautiful.
It's a beautiful scene, but it's in front of the hotel. And I told you how much I loved you, and I love you. And I took out the bag, and I think she was stunned. People were watching. I said, "You got to say something here." I pulled out the bag, and
sweet. I was very, very surprised, and it was lovely. It was perfect. It was a gorgeous morning, and I said yes. Right, I was stunned. Of course, I said yes, and it was absolutely gorgeous ring, and it was absolutely perfect.